Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot.
Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Pod. My name's Fiona.
My name's Gwilym. Today we have an elementary lesson and we're going to be learning informal ways to ask what you've been up to.
Yeah, so how to say in a very relaxed way, oh, well, this weekend, I read some books, watched some films, things like that. Now, why is this important? You might think, well, can't I just list the things I do? Well, that's the difference between sounding native and sounding like a learner. So today we're going to give you loads of excellent ways to transform your sentences to make them sound more relaxed and more natural.
Okay, well, how about we listen to the dialogue 3 times?
好，那我们就来听听今天的对话。对话第一遍。
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。
第二遍。
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。
第三遍。
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。
Translations.
昨天到家都做了什么？
What did you do when you got home yesterday?
昨天到家都做了什么？
What did you do when you got home yesterday?
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
I showered and then I read a bit. And you?
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
I showered and then read a bit. How about you?
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
I ate a bit of dinner, then I chatted with my girlfriend on the telephone, and then I went to bed.
我吃了个饭，
I ate some dinner,
跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，
chatted with my girlfriend on the telephone,
然后就去睡了。
and then I went to bed.
你没洗澡，脏鬼！
You didn't shower? Ew, you're so dirty.
你没洗澡，脏鬼！
You didn't shower? You're disgusting.
Hey, that's an awesome name. Hope you got that trademarked.
Well, I tried, but it got refused.
And did you fight it? Man, you can't put all this money into your brand without knowing that your brand is protected.
Well, the trademark office refused it. So what can I do?
Actually, you can do a lot about this. The attorneys at trademarkers.com are dealing with refusals all the time, and in many cases can salvage your trademark by adding disclaimers or arguing against objections from the trademark office. And did you know that if there are other earlier trademarks that pose an obstacle to your registration, there are ways to require them to actually prove actual use and have them cancelled if they are not being used? Just contact the professionals at trademarkers.com. With a network of attorneys in more than 60 countries, we make sure your brand is protected. Trademarkers.com.
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
I myself are quite westernized. I always shower in the morning before leaving the house.
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
I'm quite a westernized person. I always shower in the morning before leaving the house.
那你的床一定很臭。
Then your bed definitely is smelly.
那你的床一定很臭。
Then your bed definitely stinks.
Alright guys, let's start at the beginning of the dialogue where we hear 昨天到家都做了什么? Let's break that down. 昨天
Yesterday.
到家
When you arrived home,
都做了什么?
what did you do?
Now, some of you might be wondering, why is there this 都 here, Fiona? Well, this 都 can actually be omitted. You can say 昨天到家做了什么? But by omitting the 都, you're getting quite a different tone, quite a different vibe. If I said 昨天到家都做了什么? I'm asking for nothing in particular. I don't know what you got up to. I just kind of want to know what you got up to, right?
In general.
In a very general sense. However, if you omit the 都 and say 昨天到家做了什么?
Like, what did you do yesterday?
Exactly. It feels like you're asking for something particular, almost questioning the person. So if you've come back to work on the weekend and you want to ask your colleagues what they've been up to, you can say 周末都做了什么呀?
What did you do this weekend?
没错.
So when they got home, they washed and then they read for a bit.
Yes, that's right. They had a wash or they had a shower or a bath. In Chinese, we don't distinguish between having a bath, whichever method you choose to wash, as long as you're washing your body and you're cleaning yourself, that all goes under the verb 洗澡. 洗澡.
This is 2 third tones, but when they're spoken together, it sounds like a second and a third.
没错. Now, what's this stuff in between? 洗了个澡. Now, let's first look at the 个. If you put a 个 in between a separable verb,
such as things like 开车 to drive a car,
yeah, or a VO compound,
like to go to a toilet,
上厕所. If you add a 个 in between, it makes it sound relaxed. It makes your tone sound relaxed, right? So you're like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, 我去开个车.
well, I'm just driving.
上个厕所.
I'm just popping to the loo.
Yeah. So if your flatmate's like, oh, what did you just do? You can be like, oh, 我刚去洗个澡. I just went for a quick shower, right? It adds a kind of a quick or a bit or just pop to that kind of tone. Now this 了 here marks it as a past event. 洗了个澡, an event that's been completed, right? So 洗澡, to wash. 洗个澡, oh, just had a quick shower. 洗了个澡, I actually just had one in the past. Next, she says she read for a bit. So 看书 is to read. 一会儿, 一会儿 is
A while.
a while, a bit of time. Same principle applies here. 看书, 看了会儿书, I read for a bit.
And how about this character, 还?
还 is also. So 洗了个澡, 还看了会儿书, 你呢?
And you?
Well, they had a bit of dinner. 我吃了个饭. Same principle as before. 吃饭.
To eat?
吃个饭.
To have a bite to eat?
吃了个饭.
I had a bite to eat.
没错. And he also called his girlfriend. 跟女朋友. With my girlfriend. Now be very careful with the pronunciation of this. 女. Purse your lips, people. 女朋友. It is not 女朋友. It's not a oo. It's a ü. 女朋友. 打个电话.
To make a telephone call.
打电话 is to make a telephone call, and 打个电话, just like we learned before, it's kind of like, oh, just kind of popped on the phone. So far we have 跟女朋友打个电话, 聊聊天. Now, 聊天 is to have a chat with someone, and you'll so often see the first character repeated, 聊聊天, to make it sound even more relaxed. Oh, we just had a bit of a chit-chat.
Okay, so we have a kind of AAB structure here. Are there any other common ones you can use this same structure with?
Oh, there's loads. So let me give you some common examples. So 看书,
To read a book?
you can say 看看书,
To have a bit of a read, so it just lightens the tone by replicating the verb.
or 做做菜.
To just make some dinner, make some food.
Yeah, so if someone asks you what you were doing this weekend, you could be like, 我看看书, 做做菜, 跟家人聊聊天.
So hopefully you guys are learning how to sound more relaxed in Chinese just by using some of these characters. For example, putting the ge between a VO, or just replicating the verb. For example, 聊聊天.
Or 看看书, 做做菜, 吃吃饭. At this point, she goes, what? You didn't have a shower? You didn't have a wash? 你没洗澡?
And she calls him a slightly offensive or cute term.
She says 脏鬼. 脏 means dirty.
Or filthy.
鬼 means ghost. So you dirty old ghost. This is if you see some kind of adjective coupled with 鬼 or a noun coupled with 鬼, it often makes it
either kind of offensive or slightly cute.
Cute, right? I mean, again, with all these words, it really depends on the context, how you say it, how friendly you are with the person. But if I said to Gwilym, 脏鬼, it'd be kind of be like, you're so dirty.
Yeah, we've translated it as filthy git, which is maybe a bit rude in English. Any other words that you can put 鬼 afterwards?
Sure, you can say 讨厌鬼. 讨厌鬼.
So 讨厌 is kind of like...
Oh, you're so annoying. Now, be careful. This is more like a cutesy girl. So if your friend was being annoying, maybe she would be like, 讨厌鬼, that's so annoying. You're so annoying.
Now, he gives a funny response for saying he's not dirty. He says he's more Western.
He says, 我这人比较西化. Now, let's break that down a bit. 西化 is westernized.
Yeah, 化 is just the suffix ized. And she being the character for West.
比较西化, more Western. Now he says 我这人 instead of just saying 我比较西化. Now what's the difference between saying 我这人 and simply saying 我? So if you want to highlight a particular trait that you have, you can use this sentence structure. 我这人比较 something. If you want to say you're a bit more traditional, you can say this. 我这人比较传统. So you can also use this sentence structure to describe other people's personality traits. For example, if I was talking about Gwilym, I could say, 他那人最喜欢苹果电脑.
Gwilym, he's really into Apple computers.
Then he says he washes before he goes out in the morning. 都是早上洗了澡出门.
So I always shower in the morning before leaving the house.
Yes, that's right. But note that the word order is different in Chinese. 都是早上洗了澡出门. Always morning, first wash, then leave. Now, there's a key concept in Chinese. As long as you describe events as they happen, so in chronological order, you don't need words like first and then. As long as you're describing actions in their sequence, in their chronological sequence, 都是早上洗了澡出门.
Now she says your bed is definitely smelly. The word for definitely?
一定
And the word for smelly?
臭
And the word for a bed?
床那你的床 your bed, then your bed 一定 must be 很臭 very stinky. Now, either at this point of the conversation, you're nodding your head and you're like, yeah, they always complain that I shower in the morning, or you have no idea what's going on. Not to worry, we'll talk a little bit about showering habits in the outro, but for now, let's listen to the dialogue 3 times. 对话第一遍
Welcome back to another installment of Chinese Pod Trivia. And the question for you is, for what test does Chinese Pod offer preparation services for? Is it A, the polygraph, B, the colonoscopy, C, the HSK test, or D, the CAT scan?
The CAT scan?
Ooh, sorry, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, the HSK test. That's right, Chinese Pod will thoroughly prepare you to pass this rigorous test of proficiency in Chinese. ChinesePod.com/HSK.
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。
第2遍
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。 第3遍。
昨天到家都做了什么？
洗了个澡，还看了会儿书。你呢？
我吃了个饭，跟女朋友打个电话聊聊天，然后就去睡了。
你没洗澡啊，脏鬼！
我这人比较西化，都是早上洗了澡出门。
那你的床一定很臭。
This dialogue reminds me of the arguments that Gwilym and I used to have when we first moved back to Taiwan. Now, when you're in a cold country, showering before you head out, absolutely fine. 我也都是早上洗了澡出门. Yeah, I would always shower in the morning, then head out. But when you're in a hot country and you're sweating all day, you have to shower in the evenings before you get to bed. Otherwise, you make your bedclothes all very, very dirty.
Yeah, my habit was to just always shower in the morning as a way of kind of waking up, and usually I would just shower once a day unless I'd been to the gym. But it hadn't really occurred to me that I'd been sweating all day with the excess of humidity and pollution, so I think it is very important to shower before going to bed.
I made Gwilym sleep on one side of the bed just to prove that point, because he was like, no, I'm not that dirty. Honestly, I dry off. Needless to say, his side of the bed got really quite dirty, and now Gwilym is a proud evening showerer.
Yeah, my pillow kind of turned yellow, so I had to buy some new ones.
So there is this impression that Westerners always shower in the mornings, and in Chinese culture, and a lot of Chinese people don't understand and think that's kind of dirty.
Although you could argue that going to work unshowered is also quite dirty.
I guess you could. But these kind of things are important cultural points. I feel like in Asian culture, there's a very strong sense of the inside being clean and the outside being dirty. So you'll often see people, that's one of the first things they'll do when they get home. They'll get home, 洗个澡, they'll have a shower, and they'll change into their inside clothes. Watch out for these things, guys, because this is all part of language learning. And if we here at Chinese Pod can encourage you to shower in the evenings if you're living in a hot country, then we've definitely done a public service here.
My advice is to shower in the morning and in the evening and just have a quick one both times.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and we'll see you again next time. 再见.
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number 3001. So just go to www.chinesepod.com/3001 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again? www.chinesepod.com/3001.